Afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Making sure everybody can hear me. So, I got some good brothers coming on here today, and we're gonna talk about some stuff because if we haven't noticed, if we haven't noticed, it's like the same old brothers every day is doing the stepping up. Same old brothers every day is doing the stepping up, and it can't go that way. We have to have more of our brothers stepping up, because we tend to try to blame uh we tend to try to blame everything on somebody else, but it's us who need to step up. Yeah, us, the black guys, we need to step up. We we sit here and as if we don't understand what it means to deal with crisis every single day. We've been through crisis every single day of our lives. So I think it is incumbent upon us to at least try to take some of that pressure. That's the word. Take some of that pressure. Let's take some of that pressure off the generation behind us. Let's take some of that pressure off our loved ones, off our community. We help put the pressure there. So just like we help put the pressure there, why can't we help take the pressure away? You know, it hurt. It hurt to constantly see so many of our brothers, some of our brothers just they passed away. They dying. They for nothing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We got it hurts because it hurts because so many of us brothers act like we know. We act like we know it all. We act like we got it. We know the answer. And to be truthful, I'm on right now. To be truthful, a lot of us have the answer. If you want to be invited, I will send a link to your email. I'm on live right now. If you have been invited and you listening to me, look at your email. The last link that I sent, tap that link and it's going to bring you right on. So I invited some brothers because these brothers, I feel, really got something that they want to say, really got something to add to the uplifting of fallen humanity. And they should be popping on any minute now. I'm waiting on them to pop on right now. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I want to give those brothers the opportunity to express what's on their mind and give up some solutions on how we could possibly tackle this problem. because there's too many of us brothers out here for our communities to still be in such peril. Did you hear what I said? It's too many of us brothers still out here for our communities to be living in peril. So, so, assalamu alaikum, my brother. Let me make sure I can't hear you if you speaking. Okay. Yeah, I guess he'll be right back. Uh, but I got a group of strong brothers here. Some brothers that's really doing this work out here. And it's enough work for everybody. We need all hands on deck. We need all hands on deck for real, y'all. Because, and again, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because I invited some brothers on here whom, whom I felt was whom I felt was just like the perfect fit for this conversation. The perfect fit for but any event, any event, we can't sit back and think that our conditions are going to change without us rolling up our own sleeves, tying up our own shoes, and putting to work. We cannot think that our conditions are going to change without us rolling up our own sleeves, lacing up our own shoes, and putting the work in. It's time out for us to get the problem up from somebody else. Uh, we need to step up ourselves and put that work in because our community is trying to put on us. Our people put on us. There's a lot of back. All right, brother, can you hear me? Hold on. Make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me now? I don't know. You're not muted. I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you at all. So what I want you to try to do is text me if you can hear me. Okay. 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 Here's one of the other brothers. Let's see what this brother about. All right. Booker T.
What's happening, man? This has been one of the most hardest things going right down in front of the river right here. As you can, everybody at Windsor just having some somatic. It was kind of difficult trying to log in. I had to log in through my default. And so this is something new, but I'm glad that I was able to get on here for a minute or whatever. And how you doing there, brother Demetrius? It's good to see you. One of my favorite comrades and one of my favorite brothers, my family.
Hey, Book, I'm not gonna lie, man. Man, it's hard as hell. You know, some people can say,
You say it's what?
I say it's hard as hell, man.
Yeah, it ain't easy, bro. It was louder for a minute, but now it then got lower. I don't know what happened.
Am I louder now?
Okay, it's about the same.
It's one of the nation.
I don't know. Once it did this with this picture, I don't know.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
I can still hear you though.
Got Mike X right here.
Mike X. Yeah, I was with Mike X yesterday, my comrade.
Yes, sir. Peace, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Like Hilario, you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
No, Hilario can't hear me.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little lower than what it was when I first joined. But then it got a little low. It got a little lower, but I can hear you though.
Can you hear me now, Book?
It's the same.
Just got lower.
I don't think it's my device. I got my device up as high as it can go, but
we're gonna do it this way.
Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Yeah,
better.
I can hear you now.
Absolutely. I'm saying, we ain't gonna be playing no games with your Booker, man, because your ears are old. Listen. You know, tell nobody I wear a miracle ear. Man, ears old. So listen. So I was just about to send you this. I gotta send it to Raheem. My mental health issues. Who is that? Hilario. This Hilario third time. Hopefully this is a charm. All right, Hilario. I see you now.
Okay, I can hear y'all now. So
all right.
That's right. Like salam.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to get on here, right? I really wanted to get on here, man, because I'm looking at the lay of the land around here, and it's like the same old brothers always putting in the work. The same old brothers always putting in the work. When you go to events, we see the same old brothers. Hold on 1 minute. You keep saying same old brothers, man. Now, wait, you mean the same brothers? Because I don't qualify in that. I'm OLE, not OLD. I don't like the way you put that terminology down. Because if we was old like that, we wouldn't be able to show up to everything. Hey, Booker, we put that work in. See, that's right. Because age don't define what we do. Absolutely. And so we are not an anomaly by no means at all, but we do what so many other brothers have the capacity to do out in our society, talking to these young brothers, doing what is necessary to make our community better, doing what's necessary to make it to where our mothers and sisters can walk down the street and not, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna hand the mic to one of y'all, man. But I just look at I'm tired of going to events, and me and Booker talk about this regularly. I'm tired of going to events talking about out doing things for our community, but yet it's the same brothers and sisters that show up at every event. Now, part of that, in my opinion, part of that is that we're not reaching out to bring more people in as well. So we got to accept responsibility too.
That's right. That's right. That's what I was thinking.
We
Can't
just talk about them brothers and sisters who ain't coming if we ain't going to tell them about it.
Bring one, bring two, bring three. Each time
Absolutely.
we come. That's what we got to do to do it.
Sir.
If we don't do it, it ain't going to get done. That's what we're seeing.
And so now what do?
We bring one, we bring two, we bring three. That's the solution right there to get it started. But just like me and Mike X, we was at an event yesterday. It was over there at Mama Chew's over there, that area there with, Dr. Yusuf Bunchy, Secure. And the ideal is good. We've been doing a lot of this for some time ourselves and everything. But the thing is with the monologue, we keep having a lot of monologue. We talking a whole lot, man. But when we leave these locations and leaving these places, we haven't come up nothing solid as far as what we look at immediate results. So so to show that effort there's been some of our work and everything. I'm tired of talking. I talk too damn much anyway. And I'll be the first to say it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of talking, man. It's all about having the solutions put. That's just like having a pity party. If that's all we're going to do is just talk. Brothers coming there and sounding good. They saying some good. It's sounding good and everything, just like a good rhythm. A good rhythm in a song sound good. You can listen to it all the time and it make you feel good. But what is coming out of it? I go see the show and I see the artist and I have a good time. But then after I leave, I'm going back to my regular life like I did Saturday when I went to a concert. So we just, like we can sing together, but we can't talk together. And so we got to listen to one another and let's get something out of it, because it ain't about a pity party. In order for us to get out of prison and be here in the first place, it wasn't just because it was on our own and everything. It was the grace and the mercy of our Creator that gave us the ability to come out here and be in our right mind, shaped and suited in our right mind, because most of the guys don't come. Now it's what we do with it. And so that's what it's all about, man. Those ideas, importing them into action.
Okay.
Complete.
Yes, sir.
What you think about that, Mike?
So, and I appreciate the brother Booker T talking about that event from yesterday because, well, before I get there, brother, you said something, and it's funny that it wouldn't seem as profound as it was what you said or what you and Booker said, but y'all said something profound in the damn opening minutes. You said, man, what we need to do, we got to take some accountability ourselves, man. And Booker said, hell, we need to each one bring one. And you know what I immediately felt accused of?
What's that?
Bro, I know every time I get ready to go to these events and I drop them on my podcast or I drop them on my website, my Facebook or my social media pages, right? But what I don't do, and I know I got a good following of them, what I don't do is post it on my social media and say, hey, man, one of y'all want to ride with me up there?
Yeah.
Hey, man, let me drop a text message into a group chat because I got a few of these young brothers that I could just put in a group chat and, hey, man, a couple of y'all want to ride with me? I'm finna shoot to Detroit. Hey, one of y'all want to ride with me? I'm finna shoot downtown to this whoop-de-whoop. I don't do that. And we don't be doing that. We tell them, hey, man, we doing this. Y'all come on. But, man, think back to when you started. I'm accused because I remember when I first got in the Nation of Islam. And the first thing that I did was tell my mama, man, y'all been lying to me. I didn't. It wasn't until I matured in the
Right.
teachings that I realized she didn't know.
Yeah.
So I have to come to her
That's right.
like she don't know.
Right.
And the same thing goes
Right.
for these young people, and not even necessarily young people. The brothers is getting out the joint. I was just having
Yeah.
this conversation after that event yesterday, and talking to a brother, and he was like, "Man, how these brothers don't be coming to the movement?" I said, "Shit, they don't know how. Y'all been in this shit, moving and doing, grooving, and Meech been making moves since he been out the penitentiary. Nick X and Booker T and y'all brothers all been in the movement. Man, I just got here. I've been out here longer than all y'all, but I didn't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to get plugged in.
You
I didn't know what it took
Hold
to.
on,
okay?
I didn't know what it took to get in the mix until, and I had the the natural ability to seek it out myself. So I started just showing up places and ended up getting myself in the mix. But like, if you ain't pulling the brother with you when you go places, he don't probably know how to get in the mix. So we got to start helping these brothers get in the mix. That's what I got to say about that.
We got the brother Leon just
What's up, Black Peace, God?
hopped on. You know, we
I thought I knew him. I thought I knew that face. I seen that peanut
just
head.
talk, Leon, we just talking about right now. We just discussing how we have to accept responsibility too. We can't. I brought up the I made the statement that I'm tired of every time we go to an event, we seeing the same brothers and sisters. It's like we the only ones doing the work. And I said we have to take responsibility too, because we ain't bringing somebody with us. That's why we ain't seeing no new faces, because we ain't bringing nobody with us. Because if I brought somebody that Mike X never seen, he gonna be like, who is that brother? Who is that sister there? And I'm gonna say the same thing about if y'all brought somebody, right? But because we ain't bringing nobody, you ain't asking me who is that brother there, because I ain't bringing nobody. So we got to accept responsibility too. So that's where he at right now. I'm gonna hand the mic to you, Leon.
Amen. Peace, 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 peace. Honors and blessings to all the brothers here, and people throughout our community. That is a real thing. I think it made me think about something my man Karl Marx said: the alienation of the laborer and the producer. So when the laborer go there and they doing the work, they don't have time to produce. And I think a lot of times when we get out, we be so head first into the work that it takes away from that. So now when we bring this up, you got me thinking like, okay, how can I make space for that? So I think it's more of a capacity assessment, to bring them in like that. We might be able to be like, look, this is this week that I'm a chaperone, some brothers or some sisters. I remember early on, and I got to give the elder Booker T. Walker, his props. I met him like, again, just like what Michael X said, hey, I showed up. I didn't know nothing from nothing. I showed up, hey, in Lansing by myself. But I met Booker T there. And then Booker T was like, man, I like what you're doing. We want to talk to some legislators. He's like, man, you can talk too, man. You know this stuff. And so he introduced me to an organization called Michigan Liberation. And, I went there like several times, seeing what they were doing. At the time, it wasn't a space for me to fit as far as, gainful employment. But it was a space for me to engage the community with other community leaders who, by proxy, were my mentors. You was showing me how this thing is done, And so I think it's a capacity thing. And, we definitely got to take accountability. But that accountability comes with that capacity assessment.
What you think, Hilario? Hilario said he gonna hop on to listen.
No, I'll comment, man. Peace to all my brothers.
Peace.
It's multifaceted because
Peace.
nothing of what anyone has said is incorrect, right? They're just different things. Some of us, it could be kind of like I hate to say it like this, right? But I don't mean it in this way, but it could be like incestuous, right? Where it's like we all want to be in the same circles and stay in the same group and not expand outwardly out of what's immediately in front of us because it's just easy. I don't want to have to put in the effort to build this thing out to contribute to it. I just want to circle around with all the people that are here. And the other part about it, it could be is that, sometimes we can say something out of our mouths and say, we down with the struggle and we really believe in it and we're really about that action. But you don't. You invite anybody because you have enough doubt in you not to introduce this to anyone else. And so you just trying to say, you know what, I'm here enough for me to believe, and so I'm gonna attend the meetings or I'm gonna come to the gatherings or I'm gonna put in the effort, but I don't really want to bring it on to anybody else because my understanding of what it is that I say I'm all about could be fragile to the point to where if anybody question anything about it, then I might fall apart myself. So
That's deep.
we all have to take accountability, like the other brother said, because if we say we love something or we're about something, then there's a duty attached to it. And if we perform our duty by bringing in fresh blood, because neither one of us, all of us, have an expiration date in the sense of how much physical activity we can do. So if we don't
Absolutely.
reproduce ourselves in the movement or in the action or in what we say we believe, then you're gonna it's gonna end with you. So just like a man who wants to have a child, you have to further yourself by reproducing yourself. So for anybody that loves what we're trying to accomplish here, and that's the resurrection of our people, then we have to say, okay, how can I get one more person to join on with me? Now, a lot of us can be scary, right? It's like, well, I'm scared to introduce. I'm not really good at the hand-to-hand combat. That's not my specialty. Is it being outwardly or outspoken or a extrovert? Then that's fine. But you have to at least find someone who is capable of doing it so they can at least do the work,
Absolutely.
not only on your behalf, but on behalf of the organization. And then you can do what you specialize in. Because you may be a specialized closer, right? But you can't, like me, I'm in sales. So I knock on doors and I secure a contract and painting particularly, and then I write it up and then we end up painting the house the next day. There's some people who all they can do is introduce the customer to the closer, but they can't close. So, but they're playing their part. And then some
Right.
closers don't know how to have start conversations. They just know how to in the deal. So, but together, as long as you got, okay, this brother, I'm gonna pair him up with that brother, and together they can get the work done. And you may just come across, a mega brother who can just do both. I'm an extrovert. I can open it and close it, get him in here, get him to join the organization, and actually get some activity out of him. So
Hmm.
all of us may not be that, but let's just be truthful to ourselves, identify who we are, and then make the necessary collaboration with the other person to be able to make the effort successful. So
You know,
Man,
that's
I
my piece.
appreciated that, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you.
and
Confirmation.
he hit the nails on the head because
All the time, every time.
I had texted a brother this morning, right? And I texted this brother this morning. I said, black men, it ain't the fact that we fall short. That's not the problem. Because many of us fell short. The problem is we fall short and allow our failures to fuel our fears. So now we like, shoot, man,
Go ahead.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that, man. Because we scared. Sometimes we get scared of success. It kind of reminds me of LeBron James and them in Cleveland when he first came in the league and he was doing his thing. And they made it to the finals. And they didn't know what to do after that. Because in their mind, they was just trying to make it to the finals. And now the fear set in of, what if we win this? And that's how they
That's why he
look.
said he had to go down to Miami to learn how to win.
That he had to learn how to win. Because once
Because he
you
got there
achieve
and
this,
didn't know what to do.
I'm telling you, man, and sometimes I think that that's our biggest fear is success. And this is why us at Michigan Liberation and at Mass Liberation, we talk about being courageous enough to make an ask of someone. Man, do you know how hard it is to make an ask of someone?
Proposition.
Especially when you're dealing with people like us who don't like to ask nobody for nothing.
Or accept it either sometimes.
And Booker, you ain't lying, man. It's so
ain't
hard.
lying.
But I'm telling you, those brothers in the nation, those brothers in the Melanics, those brothers in the Moors and those good brothers in the Christian families,
Mm-hmm.
they did not let up pressure on us. They didn't let up pressure. They was making ask. And soon we learn how to make ask, and we start bringing young brothers in.
Yep.
Young brother, you need to come, brother. Come read this book with me, bro. Here, check this out, bro. Read this book, Message to the Black Man. Read this book, The Holy Quran of the Moor Sign. Read this book. It's about Nat Turner, bro.
Yep.
We start making ask.
That's right.
We cannot allow our failures to fuel our fears. We have to have that same animus that we had and passion that we had when we came into the knowledge of self. We have to share that same passion and knowledge of self with other people. And if we do that, maybe then these brothers, I'm not saying they're going to get out the street, but maybe then some of these brothers will give that book a read, a couple pages, or let you tell them about the book.
I mean, but like Brother Hilario said, my bad, book.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The brother said something so profound, man. Do you really stand on what you say you stand on?
That's
Because
right.
if you do, then you're supposed to be pulling somebody. You're supposed to be trying to keep this thing alive, right? So
That's
like
right.
at the bottom of it, like, hey, brother, you say you stand on this, man. I need to see that. That need to be shown in your daily activity. And it's bigger than just being a temple to yourself, because that's what we think, especially getting out the penitentiary. I'm just speaking for like my experience. Brothers get out that penitentiary and they don't go back home to the mosque or to the temple or to the church or whatever. They think, all right, well, I mastered it while I was inside. I'm gonna be that to myself. And they don't even go pull nobody. They don't go bring nobody. They don't pull no coattails. And I was thinking, hell, sitting at home watching minister videos and brother BNX videos and Nuri Muhammad videos with my wife and kids was enough. But that's not enough.
That's not enough, man.
I need to be recreating myself. I need to be bringing somebody with me. I need to go. So that's so profound, brother. We ain't even got to the part where it's on them yet.
So haven't, man. Book, what you say, Book?
Looking at this pheasant right here running across the.
Don't try to eat the pheasant, Book. Hey, Book, come pay attention.
Come back.
You know what? I mean, it's clear. I'm glad that the beginning of this meeting started just as it did, because it started with self-examination and accountability within ourselves. We oftentimes like to say, well, they not here, they not there. It's the same faces and everything. But is the work getting done is the question too. That has to be thrown into the equation. If the work being done, then we cool. But teamwork make the dream work. It's something I say a lot, and it's not just by a cliche. It's something that really means a lot, and you get the more powerful people together. But having that first, we understand, okay, the next move is when we have our next things coming up, that we continue to cross-pollinate folks by inviting them to other events so that they can land on this flower. This might be a bumblebee, but this might be just a fly. This might be a butterfly, and it could be different bugs, but they are pollinating the ecosystem. And so this is how we have to look at when often we can learn from just observing nature and how they come together, ants and all that. It's part of the practice. And so I'm just glad that we started out with that, because that's confirmation that we as individuals, because we should be building leadership in the community. And that's what it's all about, man. And that start with you. That start with start with I, not with you. So
hey, I'm gonna add something to it. All of us, the thing is, like we was talking about organizing. So let's organize a thought on us doing the right thing. So we want to do the right thing. So we got that there. I want to be the most effective. Vetting. So really, The real accountability and jobs start before you bring that person there. You should have had enough conversation with this person to know this is what I want to do and check in on a character. One of the things I'm cautious of, and what you said was on point too. You know, sometimes it was fears that was barriers, but what makes me cautious at this point with the understanding that I'm gathering coming back out here, because you got to admit that we had a sanctuary in prison. As bad as people, you know, make it, it became a sanctuary. And remember, all the criminals came from society. So when you come out here, you know, you got to, you don't know that Michael X, he got to run. He got some time in. You know, y'all got some time in to look at stuff. So for me personally, I'm getting to know people more before I bring them to that space. Because if I bring them to that space, this is what people like to do. It ain't no accountability in the space for the people. They're gonna say, man, LB brought such and such, and they pull that bull crap. Dang, LB, I don't even want to mess with you. You bringing it on people. So it's about vetting, because just because we got lived experience, because we were, you know, behind them walls and fences together, and I empathize with my brothers, with my sisters that been through that. Everybody ain't built for the work.
Well, Leon, just like you just said, in the joint, all of us, and I know I can speak for every person that done served time that's on here, and even beyond the ears and eyes of this, you know, presentation and everything. I didn't just mess with this any old body up in there. I've been there, and I was going by myself. Yeah, I dragged my family through it as well and everything. But when I went in there, I wasn't going up in there to look to make no damn friends and all that up in the penitentiary and all that kind of stuff. You understand? So when I did get in there and I started going on visits, and I'm out there with one of my brothers, Socks, he out there with his family, I'm out there with my family, and we was, you know, good with each other, and we start cross-pollinating. So we started introducing each other to each other's families. So that's just, you know, we vetted when we was in there. It's gonna come a time, because it didn't happen with us with Michigan Liberation, me in particular, breaking an individual into a space and stuff. When I bought Edmund Rushton, I'm gonna name him. You understand?
Oh, man.
I'm gonna name him, you know, Edmund Rushton.
He did.
Get up there and bought him in there, and he was an infiltrator. He, you know, so a lot of people that talk that talk, they not walking that walk, and I'm done.
Good talk, my brother.
Hey, listen.
I would add to this. That's another level to it. One of the things that I've been doing, because remember, man, when we talk about this carceral experience, it's a microcosm of what's happening in America and of itself. So we are already in prison. The ghetto and Yiddish is separation, right? So that's solitary. So we dealing with the same thing. So we got people in our neighborhoods that we grew up with, that we was there, we built with them, we ate at the same table, but in another context, they wasn't that person. But for you guys, with the deeper experiences that you have with yourself, I definitely got comrades that were in the system with me in Indiana that I bring on board. But unfortunately, I don't have that here. So I'm looking at people, and I want to make sure, because I'm under the old law. So the old law says, man, your word is everything. So I don't want to bring somebody into a space like, and it can be inadvertent, just like what you was talking about, Booker. You seen this brother, he was in the spaces every time you showed up. This is
self-interest
aligned. It can be wrong.
Yeah, it's self-interest aligned with ours. Because that's one of the most important engagements when you have these one-to-ones. You want to find out if that person's self-interest aligned with your self-interest, because like you say, what happened here in Wayne County is happening out there in Ingram County in the same capacity. When you go to the ghetto area, you go to any ghetto in America, in any city in America, and the same shit is going down.
You ain't lying, Book. And so, and it is important. I'm gonna tell you, I mean, it's so important that we do. I hate to even have to say it like that we do the vetting, right? But it's so important because guess what happened with Nat Turner?
Huh.
And we know it wasn't no vetting procedure back then when you up against slavery. You just, I don't care. You ready to go? Let's go. You ain't asking, you ain't gonna tell on me, all right? You ain't asking none of that stuff because it's time to go. And sometimes we get caught up in fighting for freedom. Sometimes we get caught up in the fight for freedom that we don't ask questions. If you sound like you a fighter for freedom, we say, come on, get in the car. And then next thing you know, all of us got our hands behind our backs with handcuffs on.
Hey,
So crazy. I ain't think about it like that.
That vetting process is very necessary in today's time because if we don't have the wherewithal to realize where we at and what time we living in, here's a perfect example. Y'all know what just happened on the news with this podcast guy, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And how many, after everything he said. Now, first of all, let me frame this like this. I'm never one that's going to say because people said some racist stuff that they racist. I'm never going to say that because I played basketball, but I wasn't no basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of look at it like that. I'm not saying he is or ain't. I'm just saying that because a person say racist stuff doesn't mean he's racist. It tells about his character. It tells about his character. See, because we had somebody work with Michigan Liberation that was a Caucasian, and they said some very slave master oriented stuff. But I don't really think they was racist. I just think that was the white privilege, right?
Yep.
And so now I'm going back to the stuff that we was dealing with last week with this guy. And then next thing you know, you had so many of our own people, after everything that he said racist about us. Again, not saying that he's a racist. I think he was, but not saying that he was a racist, but every racist thing that he said about us, and we still praising him at church. Come on, we want to honor him. A moment of silence at our church, a church that he would never even think about stepping foot in, a God that he would never think about praising, a Jesus that he never would say is black. But yet we'll bow down to him and give him the highest honors when we don't even give those honors to the young brothers outside our doors right now that's killing each other. We talking about them instead of talking to them. And maybe that's part of the problem. We always putting them down. We ain't picking them up. We putting them down.
Yeah.
Why don't we pick them up the way that we picked that other guy up? Right, and we might see our community change.
Sometimes people don't recognize, they think picking somebody up is literally picking somebody up physically, man, when it's also mentally. You pick people up mentally by educating them. You share your story. You become a poster child for the abuse that you've been through in society and what's happening to thousands of others. You understand? So that's, yeah, I mean, this work, boy, can wear you out too. I would like to just add this on. We got to make sure that we take care of each other and ourselves. We got to be making sure that we exercising, breathing, eating properly. You're not just on the run all the time and eating all kind of crazy foods out there that's not good for you and stuff. You got to take care of yourself, because when you're dealing with a hurt society and a beat down society and an ignorant society, it is crazy. And the last thing I say is just like they was talking about, sitting up there talking about slavery and all that time and how they escaped went and all that kind of stuff. You got to make sure ain't no Chicken Georges in the house. They miseducated a whole lot. And so we think that Uncle Tom was a bad guy when Uncle Tom was the one that was helping. But we don't want Chicken Georges in the house. Everybody that looked like you.
Stop, Booker. Stop. Tell us about Uncle Tom, because you just blew right past it. I agree with you because I already understand it, but let the audience know what you're talking about, Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom, they turned it around just like they did with a lot of our miseducation. Most of the things we've been
talk to him, been taught are
lies and it's reversed to what it was. Like there's, for instance, I'm just gonna make a quick example, then we go to Uncle Tom. They teach you what you don't know won't hurt you. What you don't know can kill you. If you
Yes, sir.
what you talking about, it won't hurt you. It ain't gonna hurt the guy, and it ain't my time because I'm ignorant. That's why
Right.
Marcus Garvey said, "Intelligence rules the world, but ignorance bears
the
the burden."
burden.
So when you ignorant, you can bear the burden. We don't know. We didn't know. We wasn't taught about the civic duties and things by our parents because they wasn't educated to know about the things that the rules of engagement in the battle in the community and the civil rights. And that's why we still here today. But when it came down to Uncle Tom, they made him look like the real bad guy. Yeah, Uncle Tom, he telling on all the slaves. And he the one that's turning them in and everything. And, you know, they got Uncle Tom in trouble because they found out Uncle Tom was a good guy. It's just like if one of us get busted in a drug sting and then they sit up there and the officers come up with some paperwork and they done fabricated and everything. And now with the new AI and everything, and you wrote it. Now we gonna throw this out to your boys and you caught up. This is what they did to Uncle Tom. The same blueprint, the same thing that they've been using on us all the time is still being used today because we haven't learned from our mistakes and learned from the choices and the ideas that other people put on us. We haven't learned how to stop spending our dollars with Nike and all that. We haven't learned, because once we stop learning how to spend our money in other places like that, that's an escape right there from slavery in itself, because you building your new Black Wall Street. You spending with yourself. You taking care of yourself. And if we have to go down to just eat some hot dogs and some noodles again until we get on our feet and have 10 of them in a house, then that's what we got to do.
Absolutely. Let me say this because I want to pass it to Leon or Brother Lario.
Yeah,
I want to say this.
Talking. I want to hear y'all.
You know how nowadays the young brothers, what do they call us? What do they call us older brothers?
I think it's down the other aisle.
Or they call us Unc, right?
Yeah.
See, because they don't even realize the connection. They don't realize the honorary connection with Unc. Because European psychology has reversed it for us to believe that our uncle was a bad guy. Why? Because their uncle was a bad guy. Our uncle was the uncle that was like Booker tomorrow. Our uncle was that guy when we was in prison or we was somewhere and our uncle was giving us that stuff. There you go, man. Look, you good. Even our uncle.
Let me sign off and then now I kick it with you.
Our uncle, who was the police officer, he would come and say, man, they trying to do this on you, man. They trying to do that on you. Our uncle was bringing us good information. Our uncle was trying to lead us down the right path. Our uncle was trying to keep us away from being harmed.
That's right.
That's why the young brothers today call us older brothers Unc, right to this very day. So I'm gonna pass this microphone to Leon or Hilario, whichever one of the brothers want to take over.
Hey, let me tap in. Let me tap in.
Mute your mic, Mike.
Let me tap in, man. I love what you was talking about Charlie Kirk and that whole thing. And you had, our people praying for him. Let me tell you this, man. We already know that we experiencing a lot of internalized racism, and it's for both sides. The people that give hate, the people that receive it, and receiving that. But I want to say this, and I want to say this just in terms of that term, right?
Yeah.
Who you gonna believe?
Hey, that was strength. That was strength.
Yeah.
To go to church and give praise to a racist that's setting an example, that's saying, look, come on, man. That little stuff you doing, that ain't nothing.
Yep,
we still gonna pray for you. But then at the end of the day, in that analysis, it's just like the Muhammad Ali approach. He came with the love thought, man. I love you, man. Hey, call me my name. Like, come on, man. Don't treat me like that. Wop, 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 until you get done. So the thing is the love thought and to take that away. As far as, him, being prejudiced, we already know in order to be racist, you got to have the power that will affect a group of people in a certain way. And because of the position he was in with the officials that he was dealing with, and compounding that with his known white privilege, I will call Charlie Kirk a racist because his words spread it out. He had the power to spread this ideal out. He had people that was embracing him, that was funding him for what he was saying. He's a racist. Now, at the end of the day, you know, it's people that's racist. You got child molesters, you got murderers, you got all these type of things. And so for him, I don't like it. Push him to the side, but I really don't got no energy to hate the man. He already hated himself into his own death. Life and death lies within the tongue. And what happened to him, he caused it to himself with what he was putting out. Much like what's happening to our young brothers and sisters that got the power of the microphone. It's like no other time in history that you got people of color that got this power of the microphone. You can say something that can dictate and change things. And we see the power of it, you know, through hip hop. We see everybody around the globe emulating.
That's right.
What's going on this country. So you can also put out a good message too that can do the same thing when you use that power. So I just wanted to say that, and I understand when you was coming from me. It is counterintuitive, you know, when we can direct this energy, you know, to ourselves. But what I also see is, like, for instance, Black lives do matter. But the thing is, we done got caught up in our trauma, our betrayal trauma in this country, from our trauma bond with this country, that we oftentimes turn from ourselves and rather put it into somebody else. Then, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Let's come together and let's go to these fake OGs. Let's talk to these little brothers that's doing that. What can we do to get these brothers a job or get them out of that situation? And that's something that we often don't think about. We think about crime prevention and prevention of this and that, but we haven't put in a lot of effort collectively for the intervention part.
For the basics, for the basic needs. You got to meet people's basic needs. You'll stop crime, dumbasses.
Talk, Brother Larry, what's on your mind, man? Brother Lario at work, he's a salesman. Get that money, brother.
Yeah, but so, that's what they was talking about yesterday.
My apologies for a second. I am at work, but I'm trying to multitask, so forgive me, brother.
I could dig it.
Thanks for being here.
So Leon is absolutely correct, man. And see, that's what I have been saying about that guy, is that I made a whole post. I said, I've been accused of hating this man. I don't even have the energy to hate the man. He don't even rise to that level in me. And then one of my Booker T, I want you to listen to this, Booker. You hear me?
Yep.
My white friend down in Tampa, Florida, whose name is Thomas. He got the podcast Thomas Freemy Show, right?
Right.
He said that because I made a post with Charlie Kirk with the devil horns on him and stuff, right? And I said he's the devil's advocate. So my friend Thomas Freemy, he said that basically he was saying that this is a good man, he's a Christian, he did this and he did that. Y'all people just don't understand him, so they hate what he say. I said, first of all, he not even on my level. And I'm gonna tell you why he ain't on my level. Because I really give honors and praise to God. I really follow the footsteps of righteousness and not leading the people astray. So he can't be we can't be on the same level, right? Because the devil's advocate can never be on the same level as God, as God's favorite. You can't be on the same level.
That's right.
So that's the point that I was making. Whereas we know the words that came out of his mouth, and man, you hit the nail on the head so hard with that hip hop stuff, Leon, man, because I think about it every day, man. I'm talking about how powerful that microphone is, but our brothers just don't get it because the only thing they thinking about is that money, man.
That's it.
They getting paid more money to help destroy us than they would get by helping to build us up.
That's right.
And that's the music that we hear. And I'm not condemning my brothers, because I love my brothers, but we gotta hold our brothers accountable too. So don't get mad if I hold you accountable. Don't get to thinking that I hate you because I'm holding you accountable, because I'm not. You got to be held accountable, just like I got to be held accountable if I led my people astray in some way. So I know some brothers, because I done had talks with brothers, man, and they got mad at me. I don't care. They got mad at me and say, man, you just hate me because you ain't doing your thing. And brother, if I got to sell my soul to do my thing, I don't want to do my thing.
That's right.
It just ain't gonna happen, because I cannot see serving the time that I served in prison, being awakened in prison, having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding poured into me, being favored by the Most High, being directed by the Most High, having angels placed around me throughout my prison bit to make sure that I made it through that 28 years.
Come on now, bro.
Come outside of prison, and now after all of them angels that God placed around me and helped guide my footsteps, now I'm supposed to just forget about all of that, huh? No. I can't forget about them brothers and sisters who helped guide me up out of that prison system, who helped raise me up from the dead when I was just a dead piece of nothing. Come on, man.
Come on, bro.
It's a sister named Jessica Reedy out of Saginaw. She got a gospel song called Something from Nothing. He made something out of nothing. Listen, man, we can't forget where we came from, man. We can't.
That's
First
right,
of all, the brother Nick, J-Mo, Ray, and so many others, and Brandon and Alex and all of them, they on a peace journey to Ghana right now. They on a journey right now going to Ghana.
Return and reclaim.
Return and reclaim. They going back home. I can't forget where I came from. I can't forget the trauma that we suffered, the trials and tribulations that we suffered. I can't forget that. And so now I can't sit back and see the same trials and tribulations unfolding before my eyes with my sisters and my brothers, and I just turn my back on it, because God, they said many are called but chosen are few. He poured into some of us a stronger wisdom and a stronger ability to articulate solutions. And we have to recognize those chosen ones amongst us and allow them to guide us out this stage of darkness that we in. And that's what we need to impart on our community.
Hey, I love that. I love that. I think, first and foremost, so you were saying something about the people with Nat Turner, right? The people who didn't go, who turned on, this brother when he was trying to liberate them. I want you to know that your experience is a powerful experience. I share it too. We tend to have that type of thing, just like W.E.B. Du Bois said, we was in chains and we had hope despite all the despair in our way. This run through our DNA. It's true. And this is part of the accountability too of our brothers. It's a lack of education, because when you get like somebody like Charlie Kirk, who's intrinsically connected to Christianity and spirituality, right? Well, we have to accept that the Roman Catholic Church ordered doomed divorces. This was an ordinance that said it was okay to put people of color in perpetual slaves if you weren't a Christian. And this started the whole route to the transatlantic slave trade. And then as we walked down that and we broke the shackles of that in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation, we would yet be betrayed again.
Absolutely.
And then now that we come up out of that, out the black codes, the civil rights acts and bill, we are further being betrayed by, corporate America. And now that trickles down into our personal relationship. Not just 50 years, but we had 400 years of this type of diabolical institutionalization. And because of that, this is the barrier that we have with holding each other accountable,
I'm trying to listen.
right? Because a lot of people don't want to, they focus on, they putting their head down from the real issue. Just like Booker T said, on an individual level, you got to have self-care. On a collective level, you got to have self-care too as well. And we got to understand these barriers, put them in our analysis, and we got to, you know, go out to the youth. Now, one thing that I see that's really prevalent is the youth don't have the same barriers that we had. So we got to get to them. I don't want you to relive a trauma. See, oftentimes that's what, man, you ain't been through what I've been through. I was in the hole for 10 years. It was terrible. Like, okay, that did happen. You need to be educated on that, but that ain't what I need to be hammering down.
Right.
I need to be vetting you as a young person. And I'm saying vetting on purpose. I need to see your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats so I can better engage you to uplift you. Now, going back to that Nat Turner thing, when you see how these men were broken, and you see in a perpetual history of men of color being attacked, being broken, it reminds me of something that I heard on Kendrick Lamar album. It was Mortal Man, Go to Pimp a Butterfly, right? I first heard it when I was incarcerated. I was listening, and Kendrick had Pac on there. He put it like it was Pac he was talking to the whole time. But Kendrick, he asked Tupac, like, what happens if I just want to just lay it all up, you know, down, like I just want to give up? And Pac said, man, look, most of the guys that we see, men, they really accomplish a level of leadership, a level of passion, a level of love for the people, you know, by 30. He looked around, he said on there, he said, when you look around, you don't see no loudmouth 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-olds on average talking out and speaking and being believed. And when I heard that, that was Pac giving the analysis in his own way, just how the system teaches learned helplessness. But it was a challenge to me. I was like, man, I'm gonna get better with age, and I'm gonna stay in age appropriation. So I'm 50 years old. Of course, I'm not finna be doing stuff that young people do,
Right.
but I can guide you, you know, if you give me a chance, if I present myself right, and if I got the capacity. Because sometimes people have what is known as, I'm just paraphrasing Martin Luther King. He said the most dangerous thing in the world is sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And I looked up and I thought, I was like, what is conscientious stupidity? So I went to the dictionary to try to figure it out, and it was a compound word. Now, you know, I ain't no educated person and nothing like that, but you know, my authenticity is my credibility. So what I did was I looked at it and I put it together, conscientious stupidity. Basically, from my analysis, I seen me saying, if this worked for me, it's going to work for you. And that's not necessarily right. You got to meet people where they are. And a lot of times I think even us as older brothers, we get in our bag and we letting our betrayal trauma, you know, revisited us on an individual level as well as a historical collective level. And that can be a barrier in seeing somebody for who they are.
Hey, man. Hey. So we allow some of our traumas and our betrayal kind of dictate how we reflect ourselves onto others. And that goes along with, Booker always would say about, he would always dispel the myth that hurt people. But I say this here, hurt people until they learn how to help people.
That's right.
Because when I was hurting people. When I learned how to help, I became that hurt person that learn how to help people. And
Yeah.
that's what I just got from what you said about how we reflect our own pain and hurt and trauma. We even when you're talking about how we try to hammer in to these young boys, man, I did 28 years. You don't want that, man. I did 9 of them in the hole, and I did this. Come on, stop doing that. Ain't that scared straight European psychology? That
nobody need nobody spitting in their face working.
Yeah.
No,
that ain't working. It didn't work for me.
Show love.
So
show love.
Listen, love is the only savior of the world. Love. Now, the problem that we have, I believe, is that we think that it makes you look soft to show somebody you love them, to be sensitive, to be vulnerable. And society they have literally made us believe that. It's reverse psychology again. Like that Uncle Tom.
Miseducation.
I'm telling you, listen, one of our greatest strengths, one of the greatest strengths that we have, I'm talking about our people, one of the greatest strengths that we have is turning our trauma into triumph. Yep. That's not allowing our fears to outweigh our faith. That's one of our greatest strengths. This is why Noble Drew Ali said some of my best Moors are still in church. He talked about the passion that we have to follow the footsteps of some Christian belief, just that passion. Not to say that that's their religion. He said that passion that they have, if only we had that passion in our neighborhoods, we would see our neighborhoods transform overnight if we had that passion. But you see what's happening with that passion nowadays. That passion has dwindled down so much that it's almost next to nothing. So now they have what is called non-denominational churches. And most of them are ran by who? Because now they're still able to get their reverse psychology out. So we have to always be aware of the onus that's put on us, the responsibility that's put on us, which is a blessing that's put on us, so we could teach our youth and we could better our community. Because if we don't recognize that we are the chosen ones, if we do not, the Bible talks about the ones that God poured into with favor. It talks about those who went to prison and they got out and became pharaohs, and Jesus went to prison. And
murderers, rapists.
Listen, these are the chosen ones. Why? Because they have a testimony. They are a living testament. They can tell of the trials and tribulations of life. They can articulate this to a people. When Moses couldn't talk because he wasn't articulate enough, Aaron became his speaker. But Moses was powerful. Moses, he guided the people. But when it came to articulating a certain thing, he needed Aaron to be his translator. So God poured into Aaron the words that he wanted to say on behalf of Moses. Why? Because Moses had been found by the riverside and all this other stuff. We know the story. These stories are so relevant today because it's talking about is the trials and tribulations that we go through to try to get to where we're trying to go. Because Moses said, he told the people, I'm going to get you to the promised land. I might not make it there with you, but I'm going to get you there. He took him on that mountain. He said, that's the promised land. I might not make it there with you. Ain't that the exact same thing Martin Luther King said?
That's right. The land of milk and honey. That's
where he got the speech from Moses.
That's right.
He told the people, I might not make it there with you, but I'm going to get you to the promised land. And that's what we're telling our people right now. Amen. I might not make it there with you, children, my brothers and sisters, but I'm going to do everything in my power to get you
your
there.
Part. My part. Your part.
Everything you said was powerful. You know, we got to be willing to plant trees that we won't sit under for shade. You know, it's the next people up, the next generation. You know, people need to, we got an over obsession with prosperity, but it should be an over obsession of posterity.
Oh,
Posterity is thinking about the wealth of generations to come, and we in a
There you
particular
go.
position like that. When you talk about the Torah, you talk about the Bible, it brings me about the story of Joseph. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, sent to prison, but he worked on himself in such a way that he seen them again. This is us with the particular situation that we done went through, you know, going through these different concentration camps called mass incarceration, prison, all these things. We went through that, yet to come out to see the same people that turned their back on us, and it's us helping them. So like at the end of the day, I used to be mad at the whole narrative. And remember, this is a Du Bois and Booker T. Washington divide like it was with Martin Luther King and Malcolm, and it shouldn't be no divide. It should be together as one analysis. Everybody can't do the same thing, but we all fighting for the same goal. And what I'm seeing though as a fighter, bro, I'm talking about a fighter. The love thought, as I get in my head, I feel like the biggest barrier for a lot of us is that betrayal trauma. The reason I'm on this so much, I got a new song I'm dropping. It's called FOE, Family Over Everything, right? And I wrote it while I was inside. It's family over everything. Look, you know what I mean? It's a lot of different things going on in my personal life. I'm not that guy that I used to be where I kick people off the bridge. We can't do that. We got to live with the love thought. We got to understand, but people need to be reprimanded in such a way. And you know, our great brother, man, Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, he said, talk to him in parables. So I'm talking to him in parables, but it's about addressing that betrayal trauma. Because if somebody do something to you that hurt you, I got to take the accountability and responsibility to heal myself and reset so I can look at other people and pour into them where it's at. And you know, these are the things that we are dealing with the most, in my opinion. I feel like this country, America, is my country. Like, the foundation of this country is built on the blood of my ancestors. Like, the architecture throughout all the buildings is mine. Like, I got Black entitlement. I got African entitlement. Whatever name you want to call it, it don't even matter, because I'm here and we know what's going on. And so if I'm here, if I'm anchored here, my mind ain't wandering nowhere. Wherever I'm at, I'm from Flint, I'm in Detroit. Well, shit, I'm in Indianapolis, I'm in LA, I'm in New York. Wherever I go, I'm going to unfold with the same measure. But all these things is real, you know, with overcoming ourselves so we can save them people. My big thing is, I don't want whatever happened to me to happen to my brothers and sisters, my younger brothers and sisters that's coming up. We are moving in the stage that we are father. I am father now. So I look at my children. I look at Charlie Kirk. He's my child. White America is the children of us. So I look at my children and I got to teach my children what it should be. And sometimes that's a hard deal. And sometimes it ain't just speaking out. The best ability is availability. And that's the capacity that I was talking about earlier. Sometimes we don't have the capacity to be out there to be available, but we need to do some capacity assessments so I can be available. I need to go to a alt-right rally. I need to talk to people that I'm like, why is you racist? Because I seen it done. Our brother Fred Hampton did it.
Yeah.
That was the love thought.
Well, I tell you what you hit.
Go ahead.
I want to ask
you just told it. I'm just. Go ahead, Meech.
Hey man, so are you saying that you your brother's keeper, Leon? You your brother's keeper? That's what you're saying?
Man, I'm my brother's keeper, bro.
Yeah, I want to hear that song because I know you got that song. I want to hear that song. It's on you, Book.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What he said.
I should have screened it and we pump it out.
Real quick, what you said about the trust factor. you got to understand when they dropped that bomb, when the Gap Band was singing that song, "You Dropped a Bomb on Me," you know, he was talking about cocaine. He was talking about he got introduced to it. A bomb it was through a woman, but it was still a bomb. That happened to me too when it was freebase. It destroyed not only households, but communities. So when all these fathers in the 80s doing the mass industrial things started happening and the mass incarceration, and you start seeing all that, shortly after that, crack came out the end of that. So when that trust factor, when fathers like me left a son that was 2.5 years old, his mama out here still out there on drugs and stuff, and hopelessly now because she don't have that shoulder, that man that she was leaning on to care and protect her and take care of her in the community. And you got all these thousands and thousands and millions of households across the United States. Many of the men ended up in prison and stuff. And so when you leave people, what I learned in prison, I'm gonna just give you a quick example, is that I was pretty good at basketball. And so some of us older heads at the time, we in our 30s playing these guys in their 20s. And so we the old heads playing like that in our 30s. And so we put it on them because what happened is that I always wondered, how would the man that's me treat the man that's Demetrius coming up in here as a juvenile lifer? How would I want that man that's me if he was somebody else? And to treat the man that's my son, how would I want him to treat him? And so that made me start looking at it in a different light. And I started talking to a lot of them. We'll put it on them on basketball court. And they was like still trying to play like Mike. And Mike didn't know how to pass the ball at that time, so he wasn't winning no championships. And so then some of the older guys said I would talk to them after we put it on them and tell them not to catch all them tickets. What didn't happen to me when I went back for a resentencing and I got all these tickets. I'm in the hole when I go back to court and get resentenced, all that kind of stuff. And the only thing they could tell me was like, "School, but you in here with us." But what they told me to really align with something is they said, "See, they don't respect the older people out here no more. They didn't abandon them. They didn't let them go. And the only ones that's left out here that's still out here doing things, they own dope. We serving them. They custos. We look at y'all as custos, the older. This is what they told me in the early 90s. And I'm saying, like, custos, what is that? You the one that we selling dope to. So if you the one that we selling dope to, we don't look at you and my father, he didn't abandon me. My mother trying to do her best, working 2 jobs and stuff like that. That trust factor is the healing factor in our community, because if we don't build trust with our community back again, then we lost, man.
Absolutely.
I think you right with that, but it those the factors that's systematic. It was systematic since the plantations, and it's still happening now. So it's that shame. It's shame that's brought upon us that makes us not want to step up. The shame, like I was a drug addict, I wasn't there for my children. The shame of I was a criminal. The shame of I abandoned my son. So I want to talk to it in the collective mind frame to say, look at my children. Now this look different, man. But this whole analysis is different. That means I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make myself available. So I'm gonna listen to music that they listen to. I'm gonna listen to it without judging. I'm gonna see how they. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, you like Rio? Okay, I see you. I'm gonna vibe with you. I'm gonna go eat with you, and then I begin to make suggestions. I'm not gonna give no advice. I'm gonna give suggestions now, which is the ultimate advice, right? And they will look and see, for example, they'll see, for example, and we have a lot, to come, to get over. But I think the key thing is if you just act, if you act on that love thought, they'll come through. We can help make these brothers stand up, because you will be standing up for them until you don't have to no more.
And see, that's why I say love is the only savior of the world, because I said this before, is that we sit up and talk so bad about these young brothers, right?
Yep.
We talk back. I'm talking about even at Stop the Violence events, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have all the same brothers there. Who's bringing the young people there? Because that's who we supposed to be talking with, right? That's what we supposed to be talking to, right? Not talking at, but we get those Stop the Violence events and we go to talking about those brothers. But we don't have none of those brothers there to defend themselves. Hold on, here go another brother. He just Raheem. Raheem, what's
Peace,
up,
brother.
my brother?
Man, I've been going through some peace, my brother.
Peace.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all good, brother. Hey, one thing I asked somebody today earlier, man, what are you grateful for, man? Because some people didn't wake up this morning. Some people woke up in the hospital this morning, and some people in the hospital didn't wake up. They still in that certain state, catatonic state, man. So, you know, we go through what we go through, man. But when you a soldier never knows his strength without a foe. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. So we go through what we go through, and we turn losses into lessons.
Right.
You know, and lessons into blessings. Because that's what it began with. So, you know, we on here, man. We talking about solutions right now, man. We talking about things that we can do to overcome some of our fears that stops us from protecting our community, from growing our community. You know, because that's what it boiled down to. It's our own fears, man. We scared, or some of us don't know, and we scared to ask. But it boils down to, you know, just that fear, man. I see Nicholas. Yeah. Now I was just reading something. But what's on your mind, brother?
Well, you just helped put some things in perspective for me, because I was feeling some kind of way about some stuff that happened earlier, man. But it seems minuscule compared to this subject matter you're talking about. But in terms of being grateful, you know, I got my health, you know, and I've been able to overcome. And I was just thinking, you know, a lady almost hit, like a lady came within, I would say, 3 inches of just taxing me in my car, man. And I'm blowing my horn, and it's like she can't hear. I don't even know what happened.
Been
And
there before.
I almost went into whatever mode it is that my ego showed up. I was really angry with her, and I made her stop and acknowledge what she did that was wrong. But I just thought about, I didn't make her get out the car, but I was, I slowed her up to kind of let her see, like, lady, you almost just did something you didn't really want to do, right? But that was earlier, and since then, I just been trying to get it out of my energy, because it moved me in the wrong way. And just hearing what you said, I got a lot more to be grateful and thankful for than to be, like, allowing some, even though and she made me mess up my rims. Yeah, man. And they $1,500 rims. So you know what I'm saying? I was hot. But you know, big picture is that's material stuff. And that's what I save my money to use as a tool, so that I can, take care of my business. But I want to weigh in on your subject matter with respect to the fear component of but I really didn't quite get the context, because I'm concerned about just that being, maybe the reason, as far as
Okay.
black men getting involved.
Let me give. I'm gonna put it in a nutshell and in context in this nutshell for you.
Okay.
I'm sure it's the same way in Philly, because my man Bobby says the same way as far as third party knowledge. I know he said when y'all have events, he said when y'all go to criminal justice reform events and community events, it's like you see the same people. all the time. At this event, at that event, at that event. Same organization at this event, at that event, at that event. And what I said is that we need more Black men to step up. We need, and we have to accept responsibility. Our organizations, us specifically, have to accept responsibility because we're not bringing somebody along with us so a new face can experience what we're experiencing. So when I say Black men stand up, our future is dependent upon us. Our future is our children. Our future is the communities that our children will inherit from us. All of that is dependent upon what we teach our future. If we don't teach our future, then our future is going to be taken over and recolonized by those people. And we try to ensure that there's no recolonization of our communities by those people. So that's in context right there.
I like that term too because it resonates when one hears that. It may invoke someone to go do some research. So I really do like that. And coming from your head, it's surprising knowing how long I've been knowing. It's just amazing. Hey, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and it's good to know you're not wasting it anymore. And I ain't, and all of you here who may have in the past are not doing it anymore.
Absolutely. So where you at, Raheem?
I'm right now. I'm in Old Hickory, Tennessee, and it sounds like more country than it actually is. But I'm like, you know, in a place where I'm like next door to everything, next door to Nashville, next door to Donaldson, next door to Hermitage, next door to Madison. So I'm in a place where I can get to anywhere in the city in less than 30 minutes, most of the time in 15 minutes.
You doing some criminal justice reform work?
Well, my main thing I work on through my organization, Unheard Voices Outreach, is parole reform. We work on uncaging people who've been in prison for a long time. When I say a long time, anytime past 10 years. And that's what we specialize in doing. But we're also involved in bringing the community.
Yeah, you breaking up real bad. You breaking up real bad. You in Old Hickory, Tennessee.
Hold on.
Old Hickory, Tennessee done got to you. He did 28 years.
I was looking at. Hey, did you see something where they
hold on
brother on a car?
Yeah. We about I seen it, but I can hear you, but you're breaking up. It's a lot of static on you too.
So we can't understand it.
Are those rain clouds?
At first you.
Yeah, now you froze up with this conspicuous look on your face. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So
you say the third time too.
Hey man, if y'all like, you know, we got up. Speaking of which, man, you know, hey, shouts out to Yusuf Shakur for, you know, organizing, you know, an event to get, you know, men of color to be there, you know, the leaders within the city of Detroit. It was called a cook up, you know, the meat on the yard. And, you know, we had a lot of things going on. And it was a song that we was so much into the work, forget a song. We was in the work. We was building with each other. So I was like, I chose not to perform the song, but I love to break this song here because it's spot on everything that we are talking about. And I would love to share that with you brothers. And know for people out there, you know, in the world, this is an exclusive. Only coming to you by Demetrius.
It's not going to be the version. We want the short version, man. We want to sample it to see if we like it. Then we start, you know.
Oh, you gonna like this? Yeah, I'm the truth.
It's on you, Leon.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Hear it how it go.
Cause I know it's some fire. Fire like hiya.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yep. Yeah, I heard a little beat.
We can't hear you.
We can't. Why we can't hear you, Leon?
You muted. We see your head moving and everything like it's a.
Hold on, Leon Benson, right?
Location, we was once asleep, now we all awakened. Yeah, this a movement in the making. Look at how we moving in the matrix. We ain't feuding, you know they hating. Cause we are winners, we too cold for blankets. This ain't loving here tonight, an understatement. Like we throwing sevens, man, and breaking Vegas when we unify. It's so amazing when we all agree. We bring your holy presence, now we all are God in the essence. Cause you lost a fight don't mean you lost a war. You're good, I weigh the bad, karma keeping score. But check your ego for it, leave a sore. Cause when chickens roost, eagles soar. I love my brother, Muslim, Christian, Moors, Israelites on every shore. Look me in my eye to see my heart is pure. When we unify, we tear down every door. Why haters shoot more hate than Uzis? I don't listen, keep it moving. I knew that brother dead before the movie, man. That's dog booty, man, with the kufi. I'm the keeper of my brother. You heard me once, I did not stutter. We came up both up out the gutter. Same father, different mother. I'm the keeper of my brother. You heard me once, I did not stutter. We came up both up out the gutter. Same father, different mother.
Ready or not, it's the return of my brothers, brother. It's the rebellion of the rebellious young Asiatic male with the soul of Mahalia Jackson. I'm yelling out. Freedom more depth to my very last breath. Ain't no mercy when the stakes get crazy. I've been walking through the valley of the shadow of the battle with the devil on the daily, trying to make it out this hellhole, bitch. Chill in my spine with the fire in my chest. Let the heavens keep tally of the rest. The heartbeat of a nation, so we're patient. We don't need no motivation on the endless conversation. Not with time for demonstrating. Got the people like, let us free. 448, truth, never DIE. I believe that you breathe in your life. I'ma live for you twice. Everything when I die, I'ma give it to you. So when you think about running away and breaking bad, cause they just talking about you and bringing up the past. When everybody deserves you, nobody come around. The people spinning you and giving you the runaround. You put up a tough front on the outside because you're going through a thing on the inside. I want you to know that you're not alone, even though I know it feel like you all alone. Mama crying tears, baby boy, you ain't home, been gone for years. Locked up far away in a prison cell. I know you'd rather be free than be up in here. Oh yeah, kicking down the door to the floor, then we tearing down these walls. And I know you feel what I'm talking about, but I know one day we gon' make it out, no doubt.
I'm the keeper of my brother. You heard me once, I did not stutter. We came up both up out the gutter. Same father, different mother. I'm the keeper of my brother. You heard me once, I did not stutter. We came up both up out the gutter. Same father, different mother.
That's some fire, man. Real talk. That's some fire type stuff, man. That's some fire type stuff, man. Listen, I'm a critic. I'm a critic, and I'm telling you, that was fire right there. And
Hey, bro, it was what we was talking about, man. You called me, man. You know, the spirit of the Most High, man. You know, we got the same values. We got the same values, and you know, it come out. So you called me up, man. I was in the middle driving down the street. I was like, oh yeah, I need to talk about the brother standing up. But as we got to talking, I was like, oh man, you got to hear this song, brothers. You know what I mean? I love my brothers, Muslims, Christian, Moors, Israelites on every shore. Look me in my eye to see my heart is pure. When we unify, we tear down every door. Right?
Man.
That's all.
Same father, different mother.
Same father. Hey, we got one. We got one creator.
That's
right?
It.
And you know, to the people out there, look, I don't know if the creator can't be a man or a woman. You know what I mean? But we just know what, you know, that's
it's a creator.
It's the creator, but we got the same creator, but we got different mothers, you know. We come from different places, but we should be walking the same road, you know, and that was one reason why I said we got different cases and we different ages, but we fought oppression from the same location. We was asleep. Now we all awaken. Yeah, this is a movement in the making. Look at how we moving in the matrix, right? We are winners. We too cold for blankets to say love in here tonight. An understatement. Like we throwing sevens. Man, and breaking Vegas when we unify. It's so amazing. right? Come on, man. But that's what it's about, you know. Hey, shouts out to my brother Papalani, man. You know, he dropped this verse from over the phone. You know, that brother's still in prison doing life, but he love the people and he love our brothers. He got a new book that's out. Black Boy, don't die. Black Boy, you know, don't get killed. You know, it's a powerful piece. So what we about, man. So hey, I appreciate you allowing me to let your viewers get a taste of that. Hey, I need my copyrights, bro. You ain't
Hey, the brother Raheem do some poetry, man. And that's what I'm gonna put together too. I really want to put together, and I know somebody listening gonna try to do it before. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we from the same father, different mother. Listen, we're gonna get to the same place. I want to put together some online poetry, right? Because I know a lot of brothers in different states, sisters and brothers in different states. And I want to put together some online poetry, but it's gonna all be movement poetry. Gonna all be movement poetry. I don't want to hear all that, you know, because I done heard some sisters and some brothers talk about, you know, sexual type. Nah, all of our stuff's supposed to be intellectually inclined. Our stuff's supposed to be able to move our people in a certain direction that we need to go in order to find liberation, right? So that's what I'm up on. What's up, Raheem?
Peace. I made it back. Apparently, I had a bad connection in my car, and I was on my way home, so I just said I'll just wait. You know, I wasn't too far away. But I did want to weigh in on your discussion, because I've been thinking about why black men don't really get involved on the deepest levels in this movement work. And I've actually been having conversations with people I actually was caged with. And one of the most profound things that I heard from one of my guys, he said, bro, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't give a fuck about penitentiary shit, anything, and it make me think about it. And I was, you know, I explained, I said, this ain't penitentiary. He said, look, man, I know what y'all doing, and I just don't want to think about that shit no more. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I feel that, because to him, working in this space, his name is Leslie. He did like 20. Working in this space reminds him of something, maybe triggers something for him, right?
Yeah.
Doing time with his daddy and all that type stuff. But I think about the other men who don't, who have not been processed through the criminal legal system. I've had conversations with them, and they like, man, people ain't doing what a lot of people do to end up in prison. So it's like, I don't know, and I missed that part of the discussion. So I hope it's not too difficult to rehash that, because you know when you say the fear, I don't know that fear is behind, you know, the dominant reason. But you know, I want to hear a little bit more about that if that's not too much.
It doesn't have to be. In many cases, I know personally with me, fear sets in, you know, because I talked about how one of our greatest issues is that it's not that we fall short. One of our greatest issues is that when we fall short, we allow our fear. I mean, we allow our hold on. I got this one guy talking to me in my ear. We allow our failures to fuel our fears. So we tend to hang on to our failures. And that failure fuels our fear. Because now I'm saying, man, I'm done, man. Because I don't even want to try again and then end up. So I'm done. I'm good. Because guess what your man, the brother just told you that you described when you talked to the guy that did the time out of prison. He said, man, F all that stuff. I don't want to think about it. Because in his mind, him going to prison was one of his failures in life. I don't want to relive that failure. That's a fear. And you got to give that to them. Some of us learn to overcome that fear and talk about it. So we face that fear. So that's what I mean by sometimes our fears prevent us from getting more involved in our communities, getting more involved in movement work, getting more involved in the lives of our children. When I say our children, I'm talking about the community. Sometimes our fears do that to us because our traumas come up. Our traumas come up. You know, I remember I was terrible. And sometimes I be thinking, when I be seeing young guys today, sometimes I be thinking like, man, I don't know if I should say nothing to him, because if he anything like I was, I got a reason to fear this little guy. Sometimes I go through it myself to this very day. So that's the context we was using it in.
Okay.
So we really just touching on issues, because the solutions that we was coming up with solutions, and this ain't the last conversation. I'm gonna be on a podcast ready, because I just got my podcast back up and really running. Like I told y'all I would, was in North Carolina. I said in the coming days I'll be reaching out to people, because many of us four on this call, and several others who have been on this call, and others that we know, have been chosen. God poured into us something, a little bit more information, or articulated a little bit more information that he may have given somebody else, but they don't have the ability to articulate it, like Moses didn't have the ability to articulate the message that God wanted him to give to the people. So God appointed Aaron, his brother, to be the voice. So, but some of us have been gifted and blessed with God wisdom to articulate to our people, a saving power to help our people with, help our community with, rebuild our future with. And that's many of us, because many of the prophets, most of the prophets, went to prison, came out of prison, and began to be leaders of nations of people.
That's right.
But they had to go through those trials and tribulations first. You cannot have a testimony without a test, and we already been tested.
Sometimes you have to go to the lower depths to reach the highest heights.
Absolutely.
So, you know, those closest to the problem are closest to the solution, but receive less power or resources. Well, we have a platform with our organization, and not only that, with the means of the, you know, new digital and all that music that, you know, Leon, which I would like to see a lot more artists that are more encouraged to send the messages through the music, like when I grew up during the 70s and, you know, some of the 80s even, man. You know, it's some good music still out here, but you got to really search for it, because, you know, they trying to still continue to dummy us down, and that, you know, programming us with TV, just like what Leon has spoke on before about television. They telling their vision, and then they call them programs, so that they programming your ass. You think you getting something that they, you know, hey, they pulling you right in. You hear the news in the morning, you hear it in the afternoon, you hear it in the evening, then you hear it in late at night, and then you ask, then people have formulated their ideas based on what they'd seen and heard without doing any calculated research. And so I didn't have people like that. They programming us and everything, and people are not using their independence as thinking, as in being independent thinkers and doing the research to find out if something is true. Just because I'm saying something don't mean it's true. Go check the facts. And if you might be able to come back to me and say, no, that's not the actual case book, and I'll go along with it, man, when someone else. That's why it's important for us to, you know, sharpen each other up and have people coming from all across the nations, because what's happening in any urban American city is happening in every one. But I know my phone is getting ready to go off in a minute. I think it's kind of charging. So if it go out, I'm outside in my yard, and I was down by the river. It looked like it's getting ready to go out. But I'm glad to be a part of this initiated conversation. But just conversation ain't enough for me as an individual, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all feel the same. And what can we get out of these conversations? What efforts can we put in motion to start making some change? Whether it be in Detroit, whether it be somewhere in Tennessee, you know, it don't matter to me because we still uplifting fallen humanity, and that's what it's all about.
That is exactly my goal in this right here. That was my goal in tapping in with brother from Tennessee, brother from Chicago, brother in St. Louis, Terry down in Baltimore. I wanted to tap into us. You got Leon, he back and forth from Atlanta, he everywhere, I'm everywhere. I wanted to tap into us and have this conversation, and I wanted us to share this conversation out to our constituents and our friends and family. Share this conversation out, this very video, so they can see when we come to their town, we're going to be right there in their town. We might be at some school, at some whatever, having this conversation with Black men in their community. That's why I wanted this conversation right here. That's why I entitled the conversation, Black Men Stand Up. Our future depends on us.
Yep.
Because what happens in one urban community happens in all urban communities.
Right, bro. That's for real. We got to get away from all that old stigmatizing and stuff when we sitting up there from Flint and Detroit. From here to South Side, I'm from the West Side. I ain't never played that game. Don't get me wrong, though, because I ain't never been gang affiliated, and I'm not mad at somebody if that's what led them to be here. You understand? But you know, and I ain't getting ready to start and everything. We are one.
Listen, Raheem is unexpectedly quiet.
No, I'm listening kind of, and then I was distracted a little bit because I had a little small emergency that's been working out. But you know, we talked about this, and I don't know if I know you two remember. Remember we had that conversation on the former plantation dealing with the men. I was more or less thinking along those terms, you know, as far as having dialogue with brothers from different states. You know, and I don't know if y'all were able to listen to what I was talking about before I got staticky about the work that I do. But with the Unheard Voices Outreach, which is the organization that I founded really when I was in prison, but I incorporated it when I got out, when I was in college in 2017. And I didn't really just start pushing it into 2021. And it's a nonprofit. And I basically do a lot of work to uncage people in prison who've been in for a long time, like 10 years or more. And we've been having a lot of success. I'm also a parole reform advocate, and I do a lot of grassroots organizing with the families of people who love someone in prison, where we're setting up mutual alignment groups to help them to navigate dealing with this system, training in civic engagement, and more or less just helping them to understand that you don't have to imprison yourself to love your person on the inside, but you don't have to be ashamed to love your person on the inside, because a lot of the people in prison in Tennessee, they're losing hope because one of the things they do is they keep us out from going in. And so we're building a bridge through their families so that we can get that word in. I'm communicating with about 9 prisons through the tablet. So in a nutshell, that's how I do this work.
That's good, bro. That's good because, you know, like in all the states, just like what we say what happened in all urban American cities is happening in all them prisons too, because it's us in there. And so when our families, like my son was 2.5 when I got locked up in 85, my mom and all them would come up there to visit, my dad, and, you know, they get scrutinized, they get checked, they get stripped sometimes and all that kind of stuff, going through the baby's diapers and all them type of things. All that's designed to separate. That's part of the Willie Lynch syndrome and everything. And so, you know, that's kind of they work. Fear is a factor, and then when they sit there and uncompromise you from not wanting to encourage you to be there. So that's a good deed that you're doing, brother. And it's to uncage folks and to get their families involved. You're looking at all different avenues to bridge the gaps this torn down or that never existed, and to build those and stuff. And because y'all can become a model, or we can become a model with our work in other states that can employ other states to move in that same vehicle.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we kind of taking a little bit from the brothers in New Orleans who are working with the people in Angola.
Oh, one of the worst ones. That
with
is
Norris,
the worst, I think.
With do y'all know Norris Henderson?
No, but I know about Angola. I know about Angola from friends that been.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say about it is that they account for over 250,000 votes just out of Angola alone, and whenever they have a campaign that's gonna be running in the state or in the cities or one of their I forgot what they call them. They're not cities. They're like
constables.
Districts.
It's kind of like a district, but I forget whatever the name is. But man, them brothers got a mean organizing model, and so ultimately,
they're voting.
The organizing model for how they get people to vote. They're accounting for 250,000 votes just from Angola alone, and Angola has a little over 3,000 people.
Wow.
But everybody is 20, 30 people. They get on the phone. Hey, we got something going on. This is what we want, and they getting millions of dollars through the efforts that they're doing as far as funding their work. And so that's what we want to do, is work through the family members. That's why we're teaching civic engagement, because ultimately, if we're not building power with the people, which I understand organizers want to.
There you go.
Organizers, they want to build. Organizers want to replicate organizers, right? And the way we looking at it is we want to get their family members involved in the freedom liberation work of their family members. And it's going to be different channels that we have to use. Some people may not be eligible for parole. We got to go through the clemency process. Some people got to go through the court process. And so in our court process, the Watchers Project, we get people from the community to go and put eyes on the judges, eyes on the DAs and the lawyers. So we pack the courtrooms up, and our accountability comes from. And when you talk about fear, what we want to do is put fear in them, so that they can see that y'all just won't get over on railroading folks, and it's just gonna be, we moved the judge, and we put another judge in, and she ain't done nothing. But we know we can get things done like this. So it's about building power with the people and putting the people in position to be who they are and know that they're powerful, and not looking to us to be their leaders, but we all leaders. And that's what we do.
Yeah, that's some great work, man.
And all that. We do court watches with Michigan Liberation, because that's how you hold people accountable. How can you hold people accountable if you ain't there to watch what they doing? You understand? See who in their courtrooms. You in the suburbs. Ain't none of us hardly out there living in the community, but when you go in the courtroom, all you see is us. So that just shows you that it's systematic, not just here. But in speaking about Angola right quick, and I'm going to shut up because my phone about to go off and I might get clicked out. But anyways, when you talk about Angola in the 80s, when me and Demetrius Knuckles Eel was down there in Jackson and 4 Block, it was compared to Angola as the second worst in the country in the late 80s, early 90s, and by Time Magazine. I'm talking about it was brutal. So for us to be able to come out here and be clothed in our right mind, man, and to be able to articulate, because it's a breaking point in there when you put people in those cages. And we was in cages there. There were no rooms. It was no pole barns. It was them straight up iron bars. And it's just something about that does something to a person, man. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this, man, on here right now. Where we move next is what I'm talking about. And so that when we come back, we can have evidence of the work that we are on the
Man, hey, Raheem, I definitely want to give you big props for the work that you're doing, man. You know, my name Leon Benson, LB. You know, I'm a community organizer, exoneree, family person, a lot of things. You was talking about the fear, but you know, I know you came into the conversation like at the end. So just to make this a cohesive piece, to speak on that fear again a little bit, you know, something that we got to think, we are all prison impacted, right? We prison impacted. Do you know it's a fear of people from prison? And sometimes when we lead with our prison story, depending on the crowd, it can throw somebody. I remember when I was a young man, I was in the streets. I was in Indianapolis. I was quite successful in the streets. And it was guys that would get out of prison, I encounter, I'd be like, man, I don't know, dog. Because I knew like you knew something. And we dealing with a society, a transactional relationship society. So it's always predicated on a lot of one-ups. And, you know, for anybody that's in the trauma-informed field, try to get away from trauma Olympics, especially when we go to people who haven't really endured the things that we endured and overcame. It has taken me up to this time to realize that. So I just shut my mouth sometimes and be like, so what you was telling me, I'm not going to try to leave with my story. I want them to leave with theirs. So I'm taking that approach as a re-entry. And it's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but all of us in this conversation have been talking about our prison experience, and we looking at how to overcome the barriers to help other Black men, you know, come up. And oftentimes that fear, that false evidence that appeared real, it just be apprehension about what we can do, the capacity. It be a disconnection. So as long as we make those connections, like you doing it your way down there, and you on the same road, you know, we got to do it, you know, the same way in other spaces. Because, you know, just like Francis Chess Weston said, it's the 9 human activities: law, labor, economics, education, politics, war, sex, right? Entertainment, you know, right? We got to occupy all those spaces, and we got to encourage them to even do things beyond the norm, because it's a stigma in this society that we only can do this or that, and we get ensnared. And you know, sometimes, you know, our brother mans and stuff, they you know, who haven't, especially those like you, I think you said it earlier, Raheem, you said I'm trying to reach the ones who didn't have this experience. You see what I'm saying? To get past that barrier to bring them in, because I like to see brothers, you don't have to go to prison to be great, or you don't have to experience the street life to be great. You don't have to be a rapper to be great, or a basketball player to be great. It's many other opportunities. So I'm learning how to engage that populace of brothers to help them feel as empowered as we do for overcoming our struggle.
Wow. I think that's commendable, and that's deep, you know, and again, I want to go back to the conversation we had on the plantation, the former plantation. And I think it's very important to reiterate this, and it may be a little painful, but I just want to do this real quick. Something happened to the Black man.
Sure did.
And when I say the Black man, I'm not talking about the African who was enslaved and placed on the plantation. I'm talking about what was birthed out of that plantation experience when that African became what we would ultimately become. This new people that was created on a plantation that ain't no other people have the history that we have, and no other people have that I am aware of in the modern times, in the last 200 years, contributed to the music in a way that we have, the food in a way that we have, the struggle and liberation, inspiration through our plight that we have. This black man, that his woman saw him dominated, he saw his woman being what we saw, and the DNA and what that birth and what's still in us. You can be in a courtroom and start sweating and you ain't did nothing wrong. I mean, that black man, that we ain't got no get back from that. And I'm saying until we address that part of what happened to us, a lot of things that's happening out here, I think we're not seeing it correctly. That's just my opinion, and I want to know what y'all think about that.
Man, let me comment on that. You know what, Raheem? I'm gathering what you just said. And at first I was just sitting there because I was like, man, okay, I see that. I see that. But when you said that end part, I'm like, I agree that we're not even seeing what we're looking at. We're not even seeing what we're looking at. It's right there in our face like this, and we're not even seeing it, right? Why? Because we are a different type of, something happened to our DNA. The trauma, when Willie Lynch said that he said to pull the break a guy, break a slave, you pull it one end to the horse, the other end to the horse, tear him apart in front of the woman and the child, and that memory. And then he hang the woman up there, cut the baby. First of all, he'll impregnate our women, hang the woman on a tree upside down, cut the baby out the stomach, let the baby dangle, all this. So that's traumatizing. And guess what? That trauma we internalize. Once we internalize that trauma and we live that for years and years and years, our DNA, our genetic makeup began to change. No different than a European have a different DNA than us because they lived up in the Caucasus Mountains. Their body had to adapt to the atmosphere of that cold atmosphere in those Caucasus Mountains. So their DNA was broken down because they was us. The brother, you said they are children. See, they was us. But when we lived up there, just imagine right now, this winter coming up, you take 2 months of that winter with any of us outside, all of our skin gonna go pale. And that's just 2 months. So imagine 1,000 years. Their genetic makeup breaks down because it has to be able to receive and live in the atmosphere of the Caucasus Mountains. So they became pale skin, etc., etc. Same thing with trauma. And now we live out this trauma so much that I kind of go back to that word fear, that it's almost not fear. It's just genetics. That we sweat when we go in the courtroom. We pull off when we see the police. It's secondary to us. It's our second nature. We ain't got to think about it because it's in our DNA. And now that's what we got to address in our community today. What's in our DNA?
I think when you talk about DNA like that, just really just getting off into the science of it. And you correctly, you're right. You know, DNA is alive, man. It's what you speak into it. It's there. But here's the thing about our DNA. Every 7 years, your DNA change. So you can change that by addressing that trauma. And we talked about that earlier, Raheem. My whole thing is this psychological thing. My teachers are Amos Wilson, Naeem Akbar, and I see this, the thought is the cause of it all. So it's a mental wellness thing because we are all dealing with mental challenges. If you got fear and it's something that's not there, that's a mental challenge. So you using your past like, man, I was in prison. All white people are bad because they was guards. No, that's a mental challenge. All white people are not. You see what I'm saying? And so it'll take time for us to reset. The key thing for me in the helping my brothers stand up and looking towards the future is building better mental wealth and health, because in the practice of that, it will change that DNA around. And I think that DNA that'll be changed around because of the experience, it make us better healers.
I agree.
You know, I'm getting ready to eat my dinner, but before I leave, I you know, like when we start talking about the thought is the cause of it all and everything, we all know that those who have, you know, been incarcerated, because you know your best thinking got you where you're at today, anyways. But you know, that's why it's important for us to express the need of having more openness and open conversations and resolutions in regard to our mental health. You know, that's why we look at care, not criminalization, when we deal with Michigan liberation and stuff like that. We don't believe that because you are addict or because you're mentally ill or because you're homeless or you poor, that those, you know, combination of things can criminalize you and stuff. But the thing is this here, I'm gonna just say this real quick, is that we deal with cardiac health for our heart. We deal with podiatry for our feet. We deal with vision with optometry. So we have all these components that they express in society as a whole, but they never tell you about what's about your mind. They never tell you about your brain. So if your brain is wired wrong and you going to go see a psychiatrist, something must be wrong with you. I think that something is wrong with you if you don't go see a psychiatrist. It don't have to be traditional psychiatry, but you have to deal with the most important component in your body. Your heart can be still alive and you can be brain dead and they can keep you alive. They can still use your organs and you can donate them to folks who keep you alive and everything, but you ain't no good. But so that just goes to show you how much important it is when they say the thought is the cause of it all, because they know that, you understand, but a lot of us don't.
Right.
Get up in there and everything, but we realize that, hey, if we don't really focus on mental health, I tell my family all the time, I deal with it. I deal with it every day. Anybody that's wearing a meat suit that live in this world, and especially a black man,
what suit?
a so-called black man,
a meat suit.
a meat suit. If you wearing that meat suit, you got a heart and you got skin and you live in this world, you're going to deal with some mental illness, because it's how we adjust sometimes. And all the time, it ain't the right way to adjust with it. It's something you have to learn life.
But you saying that, Booker T, that's why I bring it up. It's an easy way to say all that. But then, being that we know that, so I deal with brothers different. So I do my one-on-ones. I don't ambush brothers. I realize, like, man, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to help this brother. How can I do this? And knowing these things is really important, to be a mental health first aider, like forever in life, because we dealing with those historical and collective traumas. And being that we know that, the leg up, my thing is to try to engage a brother like that. You know, I pick up my phone. Sometimes I can't, you know, and I listen. Sometimes it's just to listen, you know, to build that trust. It's a lot of broken trust in what we got going on. And it's a lot of hyper visibility. So I'm to the point where all the stuff that I do behind the scenes, like, people don't see. You just get me. I might do a rap. I do a panel. We do something. But I'm starting to be content as an elder now. The elder 50. As an elder now, I'm starting to be content. Not only that I won't sit under the trees or the seeds that I planted, but people will forget my name. But they'll be living with the results of my actions. And that's part of my way of helping my brothers stand up.
Dig that. I didn't know if Mike X wants to say something, but if he does, I want to listen. But if not, because I didn't, you know, it's something else I want to say, so it don't be stuck right there in what I just said, you know, because So here's the thing. I don't really go outside of my family to say the things that I want to say because I've learned that you said like we're ultra visible. We're also in some ways ultra sensitive to what may sound like we're being attacked, but when we're not you, nobody on this panel, but in the community. And what I want to say was this: sometimes I also have to ask this question, and I'm asking it to my brothers. I got an older brother. I got 13 brothers and 5 sisters. My mother only birthed 7, and that's still a large number of births to give. And you know what I mean? But I was a cellmate with 3 of my biological brothers in 2 different prisons. There were 3 of us at the same prison, at 2 different prisons. I'm only talking about it from a prison impacted perspective because that's the closest that we're gonna get to what happened to those who are on plantations. But I also have this question. Mental illness runs in my family because I know they got to be mentally ill if they keep running the same play. They running the same play, and the same play ends them back in prison. I'm saying it's mental illness, but I also want to ask this question. I asked my brother, and he ain't answered it yet. Is this a lack of discipline on your part where you will not impose the discipline on yourself to make the right decisions because the knowledge has come to you and you have a brother who was caged longer than everybody else in his family and he came out, he's doing the physical things that look like success, but guess what? Man, I'm unhealed, bruh. I got shit going on, but
That's real talk.
I don't let that shit that's going on stop me from moving into space to do the things that I know I want to do and to be what they may call a leader. I'm just doing what I feel is my obligation. I don't claim nothing because I know if we don't do it, if I don't do it, it may not get done. And so I want to ask you brothers the question: how much of this is a lack of mental fortitude and discipline? Because I mentioned the plantation thing only for the reason that the black man who is not standing because I personally believe that you was dead on with the fear, but I was thinking of the fear from the DNA that there are certain things they're afraid of. And if you remember what happened at I'm going to use a sport analogy. I'm saying the halftime when they knocked out King, Malcolm, Medgar Evers, Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, when all of the ones who was real vocal got knocked the fuck off, fear permeated the communities to where when folks like me was born, even our mothers was helping to put certain governors on our behavior. So I just want to put that out there and pull back.
Man,
So I want to jump in, bro. I want to jump in because that's a whole nother damn topic, and I ain't gonna be able to stay on long enough for whatever the hell come after this, right? But you said something in there that I did feel like needs to be highlighted because you said mental illness and bro, them your brothers kind of won't get right. They won't do the right things, and that made me cringe because do the right things implies that the commission of crime is the reason why we up under this mass incarceration, and that ain't what the fuck happened to us. Mass incarceration was happening to us whether we was committing crimes or not. Mass incarceration is the reason why we commit the crimes that we commit that get us actually locked up. Mass incarceration is the child of the slave
slavery,
transatlantic slave trade. So all they did was move the pieces over a little bit. They made it illegal to just be black and alive. That's how they started slavery. They said, man, these niggas crazy. We need to civilize them. It's a crime to be that. And then they used their religion to bring us through this. Once they had to let us go, they then said, well, hey, man, vagrancy is a crime. We got to lock people up for vagrancy. We got to lock people up for XYZ. And then they just changed all of the playing field over here. So I ain't have to commit a crime to end up in prison. I was going to end up in prison by default, regardless. At least 60% of us would, or at least a large portion of us would. the system is set up for us. So I just don't want it to be, because I don't like the idea that redemption is the thing that makes this thing wrong or right. You know what I mean? Because people try to lock us into, oh man, you got to do the right thing. Fuck whether I'm doing the right thing. Y'all wrong for doing us like this in the first place.
That's right.
Now, I'm doing the wrong thing because I was up under a system that had me thinking that these things were right in the first place. Had me developing core beliefs, had me in a mental ill state, had me pointing at my brother as my enemy and then they really wasn't my enemy. All of that is mass incarceration. People think mass incarceration are the prison cells. It's not. Mass incarceration is what they did to our minds.
That's right.
It's the same thing as the slavery. It's the same thing as Jim Crow. It's what they did to our minds that made us think that the decisions that we were making made sense, so that they could corral us into these damn places. Third grade into adulthood. So I just want to say that, bro, because we can get a whole lot deeper, and I know it'll get a lot deeper with that.
Listen, we gonna get deeper. Listen, I love the fact that you said it and put it that way, because I always say and I always believe, and I still believe to this very day that, you know, we was being cooked from the very beginning. They was licking their tongues out at us from the very beginning. When they first set eyes on us, we was being cooked. But something happened in America after they got us over here. The North started fighting with the South, and they said, man, we got to do something else. So now we about to do the same thing we did to them. We just gonna give it a different name now.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna lock them up. So now,
in
order for us to keep our jobs, in order for us to take care of our family and send our children to school and keep them subjugated, we got to build them prisons. And we have to come up with black codes that we used during slavery, because slavery never ended. But during slavery, those black codes, you know, they had black codes out of place.
Black codes and sundown laws. And the sundown laws.
They had a ticket called out of place.
Out of place.
Slavery. Out of place. Ain't that what they got in prison? Out of place.
Mm-hmm.
The quartermaster. The quartermaster.
Then they had the escape. They had the escape tickets. They had absconding tickets. They had quartermaster. They had all of the same things that existed in slavery exist now during prison. So what they did,
insolence,
you cannot talk back to them. So just like Mike X said, I'm glad he put it that way, because all we experiencing today is, Michelle Alexander said it, the new Jim Crow. She said it. All we experiencing today is new wave slavery.
Right. Yeah.
That's the experience.
That's real. But I got a question for you, Mike X, and everybody else. I agree with what you're saying because I know it's true. Here's the one thing that is also true. So in my family, we have a mother that's still living who refuses to accept that her children, her boys, she refused to accept that they don't stand. See, all that's true, what you just said. It's true for me as well. But to the mother and to the women who raised their children without them, they have a different narrative that is real. It ain't fake. That they want to know, why come you can't adapt? How come you can't make it happen? How come you can't stick down? How come you? And so that's when when I ask the question, is it mental illness or is it a refusal to impose discipline on oneself? Because it ain't even right and wrong to me, because I don't even believe in their version of right and wrong. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But I'm also mindful that my mother still exists, and I don't have children. So she's still the queen in my life. And I want to stand strong and firm and show her that she raised a man. He just came about a little slow to become a man. But I came. I'm 10 years in this thing, and I done all the things white people say was hard to do. Black people say it's hard to do. I done graduated from college. I got all the cars. I'm 1,000 now. I ain't no millionaire, but I'm saying that I take care of my business. So
my simple answer, brother, is cream rises to the top.
I'm no exception to the rule. I don't want to be that because I believe we all can do it.
But we can't. That's the
Why
reality.
not?
Because everybody ain't giving everything the same way. God ain't give us all the same blessings.
Brother, remember a perfect example is when I kept using Moses. Moses was one of God's favorite.
Right.
But God didn't give him the gift of gab.
Right.
He gave it to Aaron.
To Aaron.
He said, Aaron. He said, you're gonna be the voice for Moses. So he didn't give everybody. This is why I said that we are the chosen ones. God poured into us something a little bit different than he poured into them brothers that's out on the front lines. They're out on the front lines right now. Them sisters out on the front lines right now. But he poured into us something a little bit different. Another path to get to the answer. Another path to get to liberation. Because he chose us. That's why we in this work. Because he chose us. He poured something a little bit different into us than he poured into them.
Just like
I want to say something to what you're saying. And it's coming directly from personal experience. And I connected to the ancestors. As I sit in solitary, right? I'm like, how I end up in solitary? I ain't even do this. They got me in solitary. Look what I'm saying, though. I'm surrounded. I don't got no homeboys. So I had to accept the circumstance, not the situation. Because get it, it's a circumstance. It's a stance with the stuff that circle around it. When you hit somebody, it's a blow. But we need to come to acceptance. And I go to the serenity prayer. That's so existential. And the thing about existentialism, a form of philosophy that came from us, is it's the people that accept. It is us that give life meaning. If Leon don't do a song, it's not a song out here. I need to accept that. I need to accept that, hey, if I don't get up and make it move, it's not going to move. I got to accept that. I got to accept that on average, I'm about going to live to 100 on this earth. I need to accept that. I need to accept that I'm just a man. I'm not a woman. Right? I need to accept my certain talents. Because at the end of the day, what gives you power is you understanding what you have. You will be able to use what you have. Okay, I'm not a good speaker. I'm a damn good writer, though. You know what I mean? I'm not a fighter. I'm a damn good thinker, though. And then you get people, that's a big thing. And the reason why I say that, brother, man, that's a powerful question that you asked. But this is something for real that's been hammered down for a long time. And the experience and the practice and the training, it's acceptance on an existential level. Now think of it like this. Think of it like this. And when I'm using that word on purpose because it's a narrative. To me, it's free will. But what it's saying in that philosophical doctrine is the universe is absurd. It is only us that give it essential meaning. The authentic life is the person that know that they got unlimited freedom of choice. So as I sat in that solitary world, see, I'm telling you that because I really feel proud about my creativity because I sat up and I had a rubber pencil, but I found a way to write a poem in such a way. You know what I mean? I read my book. I'm like, this is what I have. I'm gonna make the best of it. Now, here's the thing about that acceptance. You got a gang of people that's waiting on Jesus to come back when God is already in you. What are you accepting?
Oh, hey, listen, guy, I love y'all. I gotta sign off, man. I gotta get some few little things done before the rest of this day, man.
Yeah.
But that was hard. You
We
killed
out of
that
here.
last one.
We out of here in 5 minutes. Yo.
All right, we got to get back, man. Hey, look,
We gotta do this.
we got a question to reflect on then because I'm not in disagreement. I'm in alignment.
Absolutely.
The sisters, they out front.
They doing it.
They out front. Guess what? They had the same plantation experience. And
Oh, they the same plantation experience, brother.
in
It's
some
a whole
cases it was
different plantation.
in some
No,
cases
it was different.
in some cases in some cases it was worse.
Yeah,
Well,
but
in
it's
some
different.
cases it was worse,
It's
but
different.
you know that
It's not the same. It's
them
different.
Europeans love them sisters, even to this
No.
very day.
Well,
They'll
when
hire her at the store before they hire me at the store.
I'm I guess what I'm saying is I'm saying I'm a black man. We got black women.
That's true.
We got a same history. We got the same history of our black women.
A
Yeah.
We
shared
know,
history, yes, sir.
and so I think I deviate from the idea that a job and all the kinds of things that somebody can give you is the reason why in my family we not, you know, a further along where we could be, because that the middle brother, which is me, he was caged for 26 years from age 18 to 44. I mean, it's only by the grace of God I think I survived it, because the gang fights, the stabbings, the stickings, and everything that y'all went through, that y'all know what it was.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
what it was.
But he the reason why. But when I look at them sisters, they ain't having this conversation about what we talking about. That's not their conversation. Do y'all know what their conversation is?
What is it?
I don't know.
I
But
think
let me say this right
their
quick.
conversation is that they need more black men to step up.
That's right. But let me say this here. They wasn't under, the target wasn't directly on their back before when the mass incarceration was going down. But right now, with the with the incarceration rate rising, guess who the primary ones that's going into jail right now? Our black women. They are the number one right now, because we fighting ending cash bail, not only in Michigan,
Yes,
but
sir.
all around the country. So as we talk about it, while we was gone, them women was holding it down. It
Yes,
had
sir.
them a lot confused, got them running other women and everything else. Now
All
they
right.
got the big balls and the big draws and everything. It's hard to deal with
Bro,
some of
I'm out. I'm out.
Hey, check it out. On that note, there we about to end this, man. This was a great conversation, man. Listen, this was a great conversation. I'm gonna send y'all a link. I'm gonna send y'all a link for the next conversation that we have, which I'm gonna see when y'all available sometime this week. It might be Thursday, Friday, some, or it might
Let
be
me
next Monday.
don't let me know a half an hour before.
I'm gonna let you know 10 minutes before. So listen, y'all. Great conversation. Everybody stay blessed, man. I appreciate everybody's input, and I appreciate us kicking the ball a little bit further forward than it was when we started. With that, I'm gonna say peace and love to those within the sound of my voice. For those who cannot hear the sound of my voice, I say pass along the message, because somebody needs to be inspired, y'all. Peace.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Show us a way we can share this to our media.
Book. All you got to do is share it. It's on Facebook.
All righty. Peace and love. Peace and
Peace.
divine love. I see
Peace
my
and
man
divine love.
still on here. He waiting to see if we
Leon.
gonna. He waiting to see if we gonna talk about his old dirty. Talking about dirty balls on Saturday. I don't want to do this though, man, because we still live. But he did that, man. He told on me, man.
Book, we out, man. We out, Book.
They
We
wasn't
out,
dirty though. They wasn't dirty.
That's it. Michelle? Michelle? You done? I was just asking. Hold on. Here I come. Hold on. Give me a second. Yo. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna set it up again, man.
Get on there, before you go on, hey, give them the house rules, like on etiquette, put your phone on mute while somebody else is talking. It was no place where you can raise your hand.
No,
you know what I mean, without interrupting anybody. You know what I mean?
You know what? Real talk. That's exactly what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to figure, because I'm on a different platform than I used to be on. So I'm looking to see all the tools that I could use. Because
I think I could have shared it. I could have live streamed it on my platform, but I didn't know. So I just enabled my YouTube live stream.
But also remember, this was the first time. So what I wanted this to be is exactly what it was, because I want to see what people want to hear. Because we know what we want to talk about, but we want to see if they want to hear what we're talking about. So maybe,
like you said too, like what I'm operating under now with what I see, they sound bite. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab that piece and I'm gonna throw it in this clip cutter. That motherfucker probably gonna make 16 clips with the subtitles on there while you talking on certain points.
and that's what I'm talking about right there.
That's what you need. That's why really to tell you the truth, as long as you map out what you want to talk about, just make an agenda and you control the floor. You be like, man, that's a good thing. But look, we ain't gonna go into that one right there. That's a whole other conversation. But right here, I want to turn it over here and you just let people be brief. Booker be having good answers. He'd go on a tangent. I try not to. I try to keep it like within a minute.
Yeah.
And run it back. So I'm sitting thinking, like, how can I say what the fuck I'm gonna say in the most profound way? But since it drug on, I think I hit on one at the end. That was a poetic tangent. The one, you know what I mean? I don't be wanting to do them. Sometimes they come off cool, but you want to be a little plain, you be more polished, and what comes with that? Sponsorship, more platforms to talk about it and do it, and but it was a good go, bro. I appreciate you calling me.
Yeah, that was good, man. I ain't even gonna lie. That was real good.
We ain't gonna really know how. I mean, for me, when I be doing them speakers and stuff like that, I be kind of numb on I ain't gonna lie, I don't even like to hear myself talk, bro. I talk so motherfucking much, I be like, shit, only thing I like that I do that I listen to back is music.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff, I don't care if I gave every now and then, I done gave a good public speech. Nah, I mean a fabulous public speech. Like, if I sit, write it down and go in, I give you a fair kind. Like, you'd be like, damn, bro, get down. But I guess when we in the business of speaking all the time, I'm just I get it. Kind of want to get out the way a little bit.
I get it, because that's how I be. That's kind of why I was trying to stop myself and control what I was saying. Because even though it was on my podcast, I still don't want to be the dominant speaker. I want everybody to, be able to voice what they're going to voice. But again, like you say, man, it got to be in the most, you have to measure your words. I shouldn't have to, like Booker kept cutting off, right? He'll cut off people. That's what Booker do. Well, you can't do. Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's all right. But what we trying to do right now is we trying to heighten the awareness of issues that's permeating in our neighborhoods, in our community. And we want people to hear.
It is your job too. Like, I was doing it, like, that's why I kept on anchoring back. We trying to do this to uplift our brothers, and it kind of was going on different tangents.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
No, bro, I was paying close attention when you kept on bringing it back to our brothers need to stand up. You kept bringing it back to stand up. I'm listening very closely because
that's going to be like one of your jobs. But being that we talking and I be on that, you have people that's in the room with you that's doing it, that's co-facilitating. Be like co-facilitating. Oh, that's a good one. Hey, I want to bring it back to, you know, making our brothers stand up. You know, whoopie, and just stay on the thing, because just people, they get, it's a form of our trauma. I ain't gonna lie, it's a part of our community, bro. I do it too, man. I be watching myself. I get to talking about some shit out of tangent. I be like, damn. It be like, what the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's our trauma. But long as we see, for example, I know how to articulate. I know how to go on a tangent and then bring it to a level of articulation, right?
Yeah.
Everybody don't know how to do that. They'll leave it at a tangent, and then the people will be like, I don't want to hear that garbage. Man, he crying. Well, I know how to stay away from that part. And so, but this, you know, this is like my third or fourth time with Booker, and I always tell Booker, you can't always dominate the speaking. You can't do that. And Booker be like, man, oh, I did? Yeah, you did.
He be blacking out. He'll black out on it and don't know it. He'll black out with the passion, man. You got to regulate that passion so you would do it, and you don't want to distract. Like, this is my feedback. That's why I hit you real quick. That's what I do too. I got all that Toastmaster training and shit too. So that kind of helped me. Anything, but if you got an agenda, for me, it's not an impromptu. I know what we're going to talk about. My mind already thinking, like, okay, so I don't have to feel like I'm reaching for it. I didn't hear a lot of ums and ahs. You know, I think we was pretty versed and passionate about that subject, but just moving forward with what you got and what you represent, you know, for the city of Detroit and for the community. Man, I think you got something, man. Next time we probably go get how about this? How about we go get two young guys, and it be me and you. And what we'll do a motivational interview. Right? So I'll be like, ask them, I'm like, wow, and I'll back them up and I'll let them tell us what they need, and they'll be speaking like for that youth element that we looking at, or somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
that'll be smooth, bro.
Man, I'm willing to, because this ain't about me. I'm willing to experiment to find out what works. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I don't have the answers. I just don't got the answers. You know, but I do believe that I know somebody who might have the answers. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those youth. One of them boys got the answer. Believe me, they got it.
It's an event. It's an event. I'm gonna perform at this event too. It's Black Men Arts and Education Team. It's ran by a brother, man, named Polo Two Slime. You know, he's an artist here in Detroit. He just opened up for Rio. but he be doing the work for raising funds for Detroit public schools. But that's a workshop, and I think out of that group, we can, if you come to the little demonstration, I think it's from like 12 to 4 on Saturday. Come to that demonstration and scout out the young people there that'll be good for it, because like I was doing some stuff with my organization before I ran into all that bull crap, bro. Most High just moving furniture out my life. I'm telling you, man. And I was on that path to do that. Like I had it all set up, the nonprofit, everything. But my thing was, while I was planning it, was the around that's in it. All these players is because of her. And you'll be surprised what a little slower, maybe to bring somebody around. I'm a little slower to let somebody get in the light of what I'm doing because they trying to co-opt some shit, really. Right. And I've seen it, hey, you know what it is, man. You didn't see it. I know exactly what you're talking about. But this is what I'm on too, though. I'm to this point because for me, bro, it's so bad. I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I ain't never in my life ever been played with like this. So I was going through something. The collateral damage, I started smoking Black and Miles. I was like, damn, I ain't smoked nicotine none since 2002. So I was thinking some real dark thoughts. And if you look at my pedigree, I was down there by myself. And I would gladly show you my history through brothers that I've been with. They like, oh, hell no, not my man, hell no. Don't do that. They shook. The administration shook. But this is a new atmosphere that I'm learning. And I talked to one of my brothers that I was doing time with, and he told me something that makes sense. Because I had to battle the administration and these funny style cats that had control over the programs, and I kind of came in and I took it over. He said, look, bro, what was wrong with you, what I see is you was already together. And because you are already together, that makes you a threat to people with what they got. So it's the resistance. I was like, damn, he told me that last night. I was like, damn. And so my genuineness, I'm coming through. I'm like, yeah, bro, we can do this and do that. That's me just being genuine. That's me just coming out. You supposed to cuff me. You supposed to be like, oh, hell yeah, we going to go to the top. I'm going to do the work. I'm not trying to shine and shit. You know what I mean? None of that shit. I'm just doing it. So when he told me that, I quickly looked at myself out here. And that's what's going on. For the most part, I came out like a 90%er, ready to go. And out here, you got people, man, they livelihood on the line, they think they got that fear in them, my job is at stake, and then, you factor in just the regular We got to be real with all worth. The reason I be saying all these bitches want me, it got to be serious. I can't just find a friend. Like, what happened to that? Hey, you just my friend. We fucking buddies. We cool. Just haven't found it. Everybody wants so much more out of me. And so what that's telling me, brother, is I'm just gonna sit and wait, play the here and there and just wait for for that guidance to come through. Somebody that's grounded in God. That's another thing I seen. I ain't rocking with ones that ain't grounded in spirituality. You got to find those values, and they just so murked up, man. You don't know until you know. And I'm glad it didn't end tragically for myself or even for that sister and players involved.
Yeah, for real.
Play in my face, right? Because we know what we doing. That shit was so weird. It was so weird, and it's still weird. This is ongoing weird, just weak shit. And you got people who, and I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. I'm going to keep it a buck. That joint I'm dropping, I dropped it when I was in the joint because I had brothers in my Israelite community. They was backbite. They was like, Lavi, man, OB ain't shit. Man, fuck Shaul, man, Paul, and man, they ain't. I'm like, God damn, why y'all coming to me? I'm like, man, go tell him that. Don't unload that. And I know, I was the leader to do it. So what I did, I gave a measure. And I pointed out how, we got to be unified. So I talked to everybody without saying a specific thing or highlight anybody or any of that. And, at the end, I played the song and I rapped it. And so when I got out, I recorded it. But all this bull crap going on, bro, I'm telling you, bro, hey, you right. But I'm going to tell you something that I know. The ball is in my court. Now, if I start acting on my influence, it don't matter where you at. Because I build relationships. And sometimes, you got to take a chance on people. You like, God damn, I ain't fucking with you like that no more. Okay. And this is the sad truth for us coming out. Y'all got it a lot better that you're dealing with some of the guys that you was with, because what I'm starting to understand is that bond that we develop in there, and you like that brother you picked up from the prison.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man, that's cold-blooded. But I'm going to tell you something else I didn't experience. A betrayal from a brother like that. Woo! That hurt. Woo! You be like, what? Well, I had you on my wheel. But that's life. And what I'm seeing, I'm just accepting. I'm not going to turn bitter. Right? I'm not going to let, my healing process taint other people. But I just learned how to vet. So I just wanted to let you know, man, what you said is well received and being acted on every day. And, time will tell on a lot of things, and sometimes you just let the time play out. You're going to see some things, man, from a lot of people that's good and bad, and I pray to the Most High that I continue to be inspirational and do the things I do to uplift.
I'm telling you, man.
Shit.
I'm telling you, man. Telling you, man, I hear stuff, but I don't say nothing, man. I just be like, man, brother, wake up, man. Brother, wake up.
Right.
Brother, wake up.
And you would hear it. You would hear it like it's coming out those sources that's directly to it, that's directly being manipulated by it too.
Yeah, man.
Like for real. And you see my poise, my fortitude, bro. Hey, I know, man, when energies change and everything, man, look, I thrive. I've been doing this for a minute and I'm going to continue to do it. But I need to be honest with myself and say, hey, it's some growing curves. We going to build because you're getting established and, you building certain things. And when you get that type of hate that I just received, bro, man, that was a spiritual warfare. That was a spiritual attack. You know, when we come into a room